Hey guys, for our MN 5000 project, we have contacted Craig Moody, an engineer at Ausgrid. Thank you for your time, Craig.
No problem.
Just a few questions, just to sort of see what you're doing as an engineer and how what we can learn from that.
Sure.
So could you just start off, so what is your main role at Ausgrid? What do you sort of do?
So at Ausgrid, I'm the manager of the project development group, which has responsibility for the front part of projects, so pre-construction, where we do all of the concept design, planning approval, environmental assessment, financial approval for all of our major projects, and get them to the point of being ready for construction.
What do you enjoy about your projects?
I like that front end of the projects because it's where you get to add the most value in terms of coming up with the best solution to the issue, and you can turn a $100 million project into a $50 or $60 or $70 million project through smart design and coming up with innovative ways to solve the problem. So that's what I enjoy.
So what would you reckon would be the most challenging project that you undertaken?
So because Ausgrid covers the Sydney CBD area, right the way through up to the Hunter Valley, we get a great range of issues on projects. So in the CBD of Sydney, you get a lot of issues around the density and the complexity of the area that you're trying to work in. And so in the CBD, one of the projects, the most exciting projects, has been to do some cable tunnels underneath the city. So 3 kilometre long tunnels that are about 3.5 metres in diameter that we run high voltage cables through. So that's been pretty exciting and interesting from an engineering perspective, right through to up in the Hunter Valley, where you have a lot more issues to deal with in terms of environmental assessment and Aboriginal heritage issues and flora and fauna and endangered ecological communities. So get a good spectrum of issues.
Going back to a bit of a history talk here, what was your first job once you graduated from uni?
Yeah, so I was a graduate, went on to a graduate engineer program in Ausgrid, and so that's a structured program where for the first 3 or so years coming out of university, they rotate you through different sections for 6 months at a time across the business, which is really good at giving you a bit of a taste of the different sections in the company and the different areas of engineering expertise.
So do you think graduate positions, do you think that's essential for all the graduates? Because from what I was told, the majority of the students do not get the position once they graduate, and I heard that at a Career Expo, about 60% of the students don't graduate with a job.
Yeah, I think it's quite difficult at the moment in terms of graduate jobs, and that's just part of the cycle, I suppose, of engineering jobs in Australia. Going back a few years ago, it was the opposite, and I felt that graduates were getting promoted too quickly. So they weren't spending enough time in the graduate rotation programs. But now it's sort of gone the other way a bit, although there's a lot of infrastructure projects starting to happen in New South Wales now, so I suspect it'll change again in the next few years.
So then on that, what would you say would be the greatest skill that you learned at university? And do you reckon that higher marks or could looking towards more to experience as a graduate?
Yeah, that's a bit of a catch-22 because you've got to have high marks to be able to, I guess, as a first, to get to first base in terms of your applications and how you're seen by potential employers. But I think pretty quickly employers then see that your experience, your practical skills, your teamwork skills, your ability to communicate with people, your ability to solve problems in groups and work as part of teams becomes much more important when you're in the workplace.
Sure.
So it's getting that right balance of, yes, you've got to have those good marks, but then to be able to then integrate into a workplace and work with a large group of people solving problems.
Would you recommend students to go get a master's degree?
Yeah, look, I think second degrees are becoming very much the norm these days for engineers. When I was a young engineer, an engineer with a second degree was quite rare, but it's very common these days, and it's almost becoming expected.
Yeah.
And I think also that there's a mix between an engineering degree and some form of whether it's business or commerce or law type skills as well, because that's very much valuable in the workplace, particularly, as I said, working with teams and understanding the different, the business that you're working in and the mix of issues. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things, is an engineer can be very good in a technical sense, in a narrow engineering sense, but you have to be able to apply that in a practical way in the workplace, and that's where those other skills become important.
So over your years, have you seen much change in the industry, or where do you see it going in the future? Where do you see your industry going?
Yeah. Probably that the biggest change has been, as I said, that there's this broader range of dynamics and issues that you have to balance these days. It's not just about pure good engineering, it's about good engineering that's commercially viable, environmentally sustainable, and also importantly acceptable to the community. More and more the environmental, the community and the economics aspects of projects are as important as the actual pure engineering itself. So you can have a great engineering solution, but it won't fly unless you've got all of those other things balanced as well. Yeah.
Great. That's about it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
No problems.
That's great.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.